Hi everyone, in this video we're gonna go ahead and send the created post to another user. So let's go ahead and let's see how it is implemented. So in this video, when the user just selected an image and clicked on this button, create an image post, when a post is created, we are going to allow the user to enter a description for this image, and then we are going to allow the user to select one of these users. So for example, the current user can just send this created post to Sean. So when the user taps or clicks on this Sean item, this created post will be sent to Sean. So now let's go ahead and open our project and then open the project navigator. Let's go to this social media activity class here. First of all, in order to send a post to another user, we need to have access to this key here or to this unique identifier that we specified for each user or username. So in order to have access to this one, first we need to go to our Android Studio and we need to go ahead and create an array list here. So we need to say private, and it is going to be of type array list that is going to accept only values of type string. The name is going to be UIDs, semicolon. Now let's go inside this onCreate method and initialize our array list here. So UIDs, assignment operator, new array list, semicolon. And here we need to go ahead and just get the UID. So let's go inside this method, upload image to server. And here we are actually getting each user right inside this onChild added. So now that we have access to this data snapshot, I am going to say, so before creating this username variable, I'm gonna just refer to our array list. Our array list is UIDs. I'm gonna say dot add, and then I'm gonna refer to this data snapshot dot get key. So this get key method is going to give us that unique identifier that we have inside of this my user's child. So here, first we have the root and then we have the my user's child. So we added or we called this method add child event listener. So whatever happens to this my users here, we are going to have access to it. And then we are going to call the data snapshot and then we call the get key. So the get key is this key or this unique identifier that we specified for each user. Now that our array list contains the keys or the unique identifiers, we can go and we need to go ahead and specify an onClick method for each item of our list view. So now let's go into our onCreate method here. And then let's set an onClick listener for our list view. So here you can see that after initializing this list view, I'm gonna say users list view dot set onClick, or let's say on item click, actually on item click listener. And then let's pass this. And then let's go ahead and let's set, or let's say that this class social media activity is going to implement the adapter view dot on item click method, or excuse me, on item click listener. And then we need to go ahead and implement the on item click method inside our class. So you can see that this method is implemented here at the bottom of our class. Okay, everyone. So when I was working with Android Studio, everything went wrong and I could not work with it anymore. So here I wanted to show you that when you face such problems, how to solve it. Because as you know, I was working with Android Studio 3.3, the beta version, but now I am using the Android Studio 3.2.1, which is now the official version. So now I want to open my project, but instead of just clicking on this open an existing Android Studio project, or just clicking on this project here, I can just click on import project, and then I can go to the path where all my Android Studio projects are. So I need to go to the C, users, and my username, and then here you should see the Android Studio projects. So I'm going to open the Firebase social media app and click on OK. So now it's going to import all of the codes, all of the files of this project to our Android Studio, and it's a very safer solution. So now that the project is imported here, we are going to run our app and see what happens. So here you can see that I could run my app without any problems. Now I'm gonna go ahead and go to my app, Java first package, and I'm gonna go to the main activity class. So here I have a challenge for you. I want to go ahead, and when the user signs up to the application, so here you can see that first we are going to show this toast message, and then we are going to store the username that we get from this EDT username, and we are going to just store this value to the Firebase database. But here, I want to go ahead and update the profile of the user. So the profile of the user can have a display name, a photo URL, and some other values. I want you to go ahead and search online and see how you can update the profile of a user in Firebase in Android Java. Give this challenge your best shot and good luck. So when I searched online, I found something like this. This is how you can update user profile data of each logged in user. So first we need to have a current user, okay? And then we need to have something called user profile change request. So I'm gonna go ahead and just copy this piece of code here. And then I'm gonna go to Android Studio. So inside this if task is successful block of this sign up method, and before transitioning to the social media activity, I'm gonna paste this piece of code here. So let's see what we have here. We have the user profile change request. The name of this variable is profile updates, new user profile change request dot builder. And then we are actually chaining the method calls. So we don't have a semicolon at the end of this statement. We have dot set display name. So for example, here we can specify the display name of that user. So instead of just hard coding this value, we can get the display name from the EDT username dot get text dot toString. So you can also specify a photo URL, and for this application we're not going to use photo URL, so I'm going to delete this one. And here we need to call the dot build method. Now that we have the profile updates, next we are going to refer to the user that we want to actually update its profile. So in order to access the profile, we are going to refer to Firebase auth. So Firebase auth dot get instance dot get current user, and then we are going to call this update profile on the current user. Then we need to pass the profile updates to this method, and then it's gonna call dot add uncomplete listener. So it's gonna go ahead and save this data in the background, and then we have the uncomplete method. So if the saving task is successful, then we can go ahead and show a toast message and say that, for example, the display name is updated. So first we need to pass the context, which is going to be main activity.des, comma, and then we need to go ahead and specify the text, which is going to be, for example, display name updated. And then we need to specify the duration. I'm going to choose length short dot show. So now that we implemented this feature here, we need to go to our server because the users that we saved to our project don't have a display name. So I'm going to go ahead and click on authentication here on the left sidebar. And then I'm gonna delete all of these users. So I'm gonna click on this ellipsis button, and then I'm gonna click on delete account. So we need to delete them one by one. So let me see whether we have an option to delete all of them. So it seems that we need to delete each user one by one. And also we need to go to our database and we need to delete all of these instances that we have here, because we have updated our sign up or login activity. So we need to delete all of these instances that we added here. Okay, now let's go to our Android Studio here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and run the application. So here, let's click on this log out here first. And now I'm gonna enter a username, or excuse me, an email. So for example, I'm gonna say monica@example.com. So the username is going to be Monica, and the password 123456. Let's go ahead and sign up this user. So now it says signing up successful, display name updated. Now if I go to the server, so here you can see that the username Monica is added here. And if I go to the authentication, here you can see that we have also something called a display name, but first it's just showing us the identifier and some other values, but we can't see the display name here. We just need to use our code in Java to access the display name value. But here I wanted to show you that, take a look at this user UID that we have here. This is the same value that we are using in the database as a unique identifier for each username that we add here. So take a look at this one here. This is the same value that we had inside the authentication. So hopefully that makes sense. Now we need to go ahead and just add 5 or 6 users to the app, and then just continue watching this tutorial and see what we are going to do next. Okay, so now I have added some users to my app, and if I click on authentication, you should see these users here. Now let me go back to Android Studio, and here let's go to our social media activity class. And then when an item inside our list view is tapped or clicked, we want to send the created post to that user. So in order to solve this problem, first we need to have some data to send. We need to specify what we are going to send to the target user. So I have pasted these lines of code inside our onItem click method. So first you can see that I have created a variable of type hashmap, and this hashmap is going to have values or the keys of type string and the values of type string. The name of our variable is datamap, assignment operator, new hashmap object. Now that we have this hashmap object or this datamap set up, we need to go ahead and add values to our hashmap. Datamap.put. So here we need to specify from whom this created post is sent. So the key is going to be from whom. And then we are going to refer to the Firebase auth .get instance, .get current user, and .get the display name. So that's why we specified the display name in the sign up activity, where we were going to sign up the user. We are going to get the display name. And here we want to let the target user know that from this user, this post is sent. And then we have datamap.put. So next we need to send the image name. So the key is going to be image identifier, and the value is going to be image identifier that we created inside our class. If you look at this variable, image identifier. So this variable is initialized inside the upload image to the server method. So every time that method is called, we are going to initialize this variable. So let's go back here. And when the user, for example, taps on one of those users, Then we are going to send the image identifier also as a data map. And then we are going to send the image link. So the image link is going to be the download link. Let me change it to download link. Or let's say image download link because it's more meaningful. And now we need to go ahead and find a way to access the download link of the image that is uploaded to the server. So in order to find a solution to this problem, we need to go to our method upload image to server. And here we have this add on success listener. You can see this method. And inside this add on success listener here, we should see that here the task of uploading the data to the server was successful, right? So here you can see that we have this toast message, uploading process was successful. So here I can simply go to our onChild added method here. So here we are getting the reference from database, and then we are adding the child event listener. So inside this onChild added method, here we are just getting the data, right? We are getting the UIDs, the username, and then we are notifying the list view. So after this one, after this code that is related to the onChild added, let's click on this ending curly brace that is related to the onSuccess method. So this onSuccess method is related to the task snapshot, the upload task. So here this method is going to be called when the uploading was successful. Before this ending curly brace, I'm going to go ahead and find a way to get the download link of the image that is uploaded to the server. So here first we need to have what we have as a parameter from this onSuccess method. So let me show you this method here again. Here it is the onSuccess method, and here we have something called the task snapshot, upload task, task snapshot. So we need to get the download URL from this object. So I'm going to go down here, and here I'm going to say task snapshot dot get. So here we need to get the metadata dot get reference dot get download URL. So here let me tell you that getting the download URL is kind of a heavy process, and we can't do it on the UI thread. So in order to solve this problem, we need to go ahead and get this data in the background. So that's why I'm gonna say dot add onComplete listener, and then I'm gonna say new onComplete listener interface. So now we have this onComplete method. So let me put a semicolon at the end of this parenthesis. Inside this onComplete method, we can say that if the task was successful and we could get the download URL, then we are going to initialize our variable, which we haven't created yet, image download link, a summon operator, and I'm gonna refer to this task, and I'm gonna say dot get result. So the get result method is going to give us the download URL, but we need to convert it to a string value. So that's why I'm gonna call dot to a string semicolon. Now we need to go ahead and create a variable inside our class named as image download link. I'm gonna click on this name and press on Alt plus Enter. So now it's gonna say create local variable, create field. So here we are going to create a field. A field means that we are going to create an instance variable. Okay, so we have local variable that is going to be created here inside a method, and we have a field that is going to be created inside a class or instance variable. I'm gonna click on this one. So now it says choose the target class. I'm gonna choose the social media activity. Now you can see that at the top of our class, this new variable is created, image download link, and it is going to be initialized inside the upload image to the server. So in the background where we get the download image or the download link, we are going to initialize this variable. So now we can go into our onItem click method of our list view. Here we can send the image download link as the value of this image link. Okay, so the target user is going to receive all of these data. And then we are going to also send the description that the user enters inside the edit text. So edit description.getText.toString. Now we need to go ahead and send this data to the server or to the target user. So here we can simply say Firebase database dot get ref instance dot get reference dot child. So here we want to access the child. Let's go to this database here first. We want to access the my user's child first, and then we need to somehow find a way to access that specific unique identifier. So here we need to access the my users. So I'm gonna go back to Android Studio, and as the value of the child, I'm gonna specify the value to be my underline users. So now we are going to access another child, which is going to be that specific unique identifier. So in order to access that, we need to have an array list. So here you can see that we have this array list and its name is UIDs, right? So let's go ahead and see where we have initialized this array list. We have initialized it inside the onCreate method, and we need to go inside this upload image to the server method here. And here you can see that where we are actually initializing, or where we are getting the users in order to populate our list view inside this onChild added method, we have added this code uids.add the data snapshot that we get from this my users .get key. So in this way we access the key. Okay, which key? This key that we have specified for each user that we get from the authentication actually, right? Each user that is going to be created is going to have a unique identifier. So this is how we can access that value. So you can see that here. And then that's why we can go down here inside the onClick method, and then we can just send this value here. We can say, we can refer to our array list uids dot get. So now we need to pass the proper index because it is an array list. So because this is a list view, and because we are going to click on an item, and in that case, this method is going to be executed. So now we have a position as an index. So when the user taps on one of the items, the index of that item is going to be passed to this array list. And in this way, we are going to get the proper UID, unique ID, right? Remember, arrays are just ordered collection of values. So now that we have access to that unique identifier, we are going to create another child. So I'm going to say dot child. So I need to put it after the ending curly brace here. And I'm going to say dot child. And this one, the name that we are going to create is going to be received underline posts. And then I want to have a unique identifier for each received post. So I want to have a generated unique identifier for the each received post, and then inside that, or as a child of that identifier or key, I want to have the post there. So because it's much more professional, so I'm going to call the method dot push. So the push method is going to automatically create a code or a key for this child, and then we can say dot set value. So the set value method is going to accept the data map. So now let me run the application, and then it will completely make sense. So let me go ahead and go to the server. First, let's run the app. and then let's go to the server here. I'm gonna show you the emulator. So first we need to go ahead and send an image to the server. So let's select one and then create an image post. Let's see what happens. So it says uploading was successful. Now we have a description and we have the list of the users. Okay, I'm gonna say amazing as the description. And then I'm gonna select one of these users. So now let's see what is going to happen. I'm gonna select, for example, Joey. Here in the database, you can see that something has happened. Let's go ahead and open it. Let's go and find the Joey. So here it is, the username Joey, and this username Joey, let's see what we have here, received posts. Let's open it. So the received post has a unique identifier. So the push method that we called on this received post here, let me show you. So we called the push method on this received post, right? So that's why it has generated this key for us. And then as a value, so we called the set value to this push. So we have the description, we have the from whom this post is sent, from Frank this post is sent, and here you can see the image identifier. So this is the image name plus .png. And here we have the image link, the download URL. So in the next tutorial, we're gonna go ahead and view the posts that are sent to us, because we have some information. We have the image name, the image download link, we have the user that has actually sent this post to us. We are going to view all of these data in our application. So thanks very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.